Welcome to Chat with Pat. I'm your host, Patricia Peters. We'll dive into fascinating topics, share inspiring stories. We're going to share our thoughts and explore new ideas. Me and you. Get ready for 30 minutes of fun, learning, and connection. Who's ready to chat? And we are live. A very good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone across the world, whoever is watching this show tonight. My name is Patricia Peters, and I'm your host on Chat with Pat. Let me introduce myself a little. I'm a mom, a wife, a daughter, a sister, a neighbor, and a friend. And above all of that, I'm a digital business entrepreneur. And I've held many roles in my life. I was a nanny, I was a banker, I was a trainer for a major green energy company, and now I am a business owner, guys. But much said about me. I have two wonderful people right now, and I will introduce them to you guys. All right? It is with great honor and admiration that I introduce to you two truly remarkable individuals, Dave and Roxanne Obiso. Their journey is one of perseverance and unwavering faith and the kind of transformation that changes lives in ways beyond imagination. A young and dynamic couple, Dave and Roxanne, once worked as a manager and in the financial sector, but their hearts yearned for something greater, something beyond the traditional path. Seeking a brighter future, they left the Philippines and ventured into Canada, hoping to create a life filled with promise and abundance. Their path was not easy. After facing 24 failed business ventures, their resilience was tested time and time again. Yet instead of surrendering to defeat, they chose faith. Grounded in their deep belief in God, they finally discovered a business that would not only transform their lives, but the lives of countless others. Their work is more than business, it is a mission, a calling to share faith, hope, and miracles in the world through a digital platform and training. Dave and Roxanne do more than just coach entrepreneurs. They bring the message of God's goodness to every person they touch. Their testimony is powerful and they're heartfelt and heartfelt, resonating with souls, inspiring trust in the miracles that faith can bring. With humility, kindness, and a deep commitment to helping others, Dave and Roxanne have become beacons of light in the world of digital entrepreneurship. From oceans to continents, families have been transformed financially, and countless lives have been uplifted because of their unwavering dedication to God and their vision. They have proven that when you place your trust in Him, the path to success becomes clear and the impossible becomes possible. Their impact extends far beyond business. It is a true ministry. They're evangelists sharing their faith and guiding others toward a future filled with divine blessings. Their humble and generous hearts have touched so many, making them shining examples of the power of faith-driven entrepreneurship. Dave and Roxanne are not just business coaches, they are visionaries, mentors, and vessels of hope. For those searching for purpose, it is an honor to celebrate them today, knowing that their journey is only just beginning. May they continue to inspire, transform, and fulfill the true calling that has been placed upon their lives. Dave and Roxanne, it is an honor and pleasure to have you both on Chat with Pat. And I just want to say welcome to my platform and tell the audience about yourselves, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Patricia.
Thank you,
Wow,
Patricia.
that was a very long, amazing.
Yeah,
I've been waiting
yeah.
for this day for so long to meet you guys and talk to you guys. I admire you guys as a couple and the things you're doing in this business. So introduce yourself to us, guys.
Yeah, as you said, already we are from the Philippines. I came to Canada when I was 14 years old. My background is engineering, and engineering was a good career. I wasn't good for it, so I took a leap of faith. I got outside of it, and when I got into my first business, which is financial services, that's where I met Roxanne. Uh, I was so lucky to meet her. I was her manager, and I managed her really well. So I married her, but now she's my boss.
I know, right?
But prior to the online business, I was a general manager, as you mentioned, and now I do this full time. that's a bit about me.
Yeah, for me, I moved here from the Philippines as well in 2004 with my siblings, my parents, and I took paralegal because I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, and I always
Mm.
wanted to give back to my parents. I wanted to help them in their retirement, and that's when I met my husband in our first business together, and I soon realized that it's not easy being in the entrepreneurship journey, but thanks be to God, in 2018 that's when we found the online business, and the
Mhm.
rest is history. Now we've been doing this full time for the past 4 to 5 years now.
And Roxanne, who is your boss now? Dave,
She's the boss.
Dave, Dave, you might be the head of the house, right? But Roxanne is a neck. She can twist you and turn you however she wants, right?
Right?
So without any further ado, how's the weather in Canada today?
Oh, it was really good. Yes, it's
All
warm.
right. I know
It's
you have your little one and you guys are very busy people, so I'll go right into the questions. Everyone, the New Yorkers are anxious to know who you guys really are. So the first question is, reflecting on your journey through 24 failed businesses, how did your faith play a role in maintaining your perseverance and resilience?
Yeah, that was the foundation. I don't think we would be here today without the grace of God. We every time we fail, we would ask the Lord, where are you going to lead us next? And we always talk about this. In 2018, we were this close to quitting our entrepreneur journey. We thought that you know the, it wasn't for us because we've tried 24 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
um, one last prayer, one prayer,
Right.
leading to where we are today. And then Roxanne prayed this very powerful prayer, right?
Yeah, I think it's the first time that we prayed. I asked the Lord to heal our finances, to lead us to the right business, to the right opportunity. That was in February or March of 2018. And then soon later, around June, July, that's when Dave saw an ad in Facebook. And
Right.
I was very skeptical because I thought it's still going to be the same thing, that it will fail us. It took him a couple of months until October of 2018. That's when he really, we discerned, and we finally, God led us to this business. So I think it really helped us to be grounded, to have hope all the time, having that faith really,
Yeah.
yeah, like in times of uncertainty, in times of like doubt,
Mm-hmm.
because he promises that he will give us, plans to he will
He
have
has good
he
plans
has
for us.
good plans for us, plans to prosper us and not to harm us. It really like give us that hope that if he did it for other people, he can definitely do it for us as well.
Absolutely. We may make our plans. We may leave one country and come to another,
Mhm.
and we may make all our plans, but God has the last word, and He sure did has the last word for you guys, and that's amazing. When you want to give up, don't ever give up,
That's right.
right? And I like Roxanne when I always listen to you when you always say that you pray that you want God to heal your finances, and I never prayed that way,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and I was like, that's a good idea, because sometimes our finances are sick, you need healing, right?
True.
And I copied that from you, and I changed my format in prayer. Like I said, Lord, heal my finances.
Mhm.
It's
And it's good that you have you guys out there. You guys are like shining lights, little Jesus all over the place. Sharing the goodness and the awesomeness of God, and that's a brilliant thing.
but
So
just to add quickly on that, it's really interesting when we said heal our finances. God did heal our finances, but actually he healed us. Our way of dealing with finances, because so we
yes,
wanted
yes,
our character.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
God
many
got
of us we pray all the time, right? We pray without ceasing, but then we don't believe
yeah.
Mhm.
that things can happen to us, and
Hmm.
that's where we're lack of, and that's why we're not seeing our way or prospering or whatever. We have to believe that it is going to happen,
Yeah.
and it's all about the mindset again, right?
Hmm.
Yes. So your next good answer, guys. Your next question is, as coaches, both of you who has experienced hardship and triumph, how do you help your mentors and mentees and other people in the business redefine failure as a stepping stone to their ultimate purpose?
Yeah, that's also one of the reasons why we kept going, because all the and again, part of entrepreneurship really is we share with the people we mentor is you got to read books, You got to read biographies, right? Because if you really study very successful people, it's failures in their path, right? I always say that failure is a necessary road to success. It's not like something that you may experience. You will definitely experience, right? One of the biographies I've read is Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders failed, knocked on 1,009 doors, right? 1,000.
Wow.
So think about it. We failed in 24 times, but this is 1,009, right? I mean,
Mhm.
and if you guys know, we don't know who Colonel Sanders is, that's KFC, right? There's no KFC today if you don't
Right, right.
1,009 doors, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Henry Ford was another one. He went bankrupt 5 times. His vision was to democratize the car. Before, it was only for rich people. So he went
Right.
bankrupt once. He went to the investors again. This will work. Bankrupt again. Went
Mm-hmm.
again, and the rest is history. And for new people, I always tell them, right, you can reframe it by saying, instead of win or lose or try or fail, you got to reframe it to win or learn. Because if you do that,
Yes,
you never lose. So every time you
absolutely.
fail, instead of failing, it's like, what did you learn from it? You just found a way. It's kind of like you just did a way of not how to become successful. Now try again, right? So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also one mentor said to us that in order for you to get success, right, in the
Mhm.
beginning of success word, it says suck. You need to suck first before you get to success.
yeah.
So I think that really helped us frame it differently. That like failure is just part of the journey, right? It's not, you cannot avoid failure. So if you have that mindset that failing and failure
Yeah.
are important, are part of it, then you
Mhm.
embrace it and you just keep going.
Yeah, just one more thing. This is the really powerful topic, right? If you really study successful people in all areas, they have a different relationship to pain and failure.
Right.
It's almost like they lean into it. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why is because if you escape, your challenge will still be there. But if you lean into it, you embrace the failure. That's where transformation happens. That's where you
Absolutely.
right? So for failure, I always tell people, lean into it, right? Even fail faster so that you'll get to your success. That's the key.
That's true. So have you ever thought, have you ever wondered that you guys are God fearing? I am God fearing, right? And have you ever thought that people who are millionaires and prosperous, like these people don't know God? Like
Mm.
most of them don't. They don't believe in a God. And yet they prosper. Have it ever crossed your mind that how much more God's children can prosper if we put our mind to prosper, right? Because
Mm.
these people don't know God and they're living their best life and they're millionaires and they're business people and all this stuff. How much more us as God's children can prosper,
Yeah.
right? And if
Mm.
we ask ourselves that, then and I always say, pray hard when you find it hard to pray. And and this is like a revival chat GP today.
One of our missions when we started is to help good people earn online, and for us, good people are Christians that are
Right.
just a bit short of money, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of Christians that want to do good in this earth, but they just don't have the financial capacity, right? So you're right. If these people,
Mm-hmm.
pray and act and follow the fundamental principle that God has laid on this earth, right? They can do
Hmm.
more good. In fact, one of my favorite saying is that ultimate purpose of wealth is to love, right? Which means
Right.
that you can love your family first, but when you have overflowing of wealth in your family, then
Mm.
you can now look up and love others by helping them, right? That's really what.
And that's it, Dave. That's it. Love isn't love until you give it away.
Yeah.
And I think you guys, when I look at both of you, I didn't see business people. And I know you guys are great at what you do, but I have a different perspective of both of you. I see something different.
Mhm.
And you understand what I'm getting at. I see you guys as vessels, beacons of hope, and I admire that about you guys. So keep doing what you're doing and keep shining.
Thank you.
Your next question is, you guys are breezing through these questions. Can you share a pivotal moment where you felt your faith guided you to make a crucial decision in your business?
Yeah, I think there are many in our path,
Mhm.
but I think one that I can remember, there's a ton, is that first of all, when I saw an ad, that was God leading us to a divine appointment, because like, we tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because I also people will only God will only lead to a divine appointment. You have to keep the appointment, which means you have to take the action, right?
Right, right.
If you're there, you have to keep the appointment, especially when it becomes challenging. This is where
Mm-hmm.
people quit, right? So I think first of all that, and what else can you think of?
I think also because like when you I think I don't know where I got it, but I've learned it from a podcast or from another sermon, is that when you make decision, once you make, you
Yeah,
pray, right, you
Mm-hmm.
won't know the whole thing, everything, right? But if you
Right.
have peace of mind, like
Mm-hmm.
peace in your heart, it means that you're doing the right thing, right? So I think like we believe that faith, like our faith in God, really guided us throughout this journey, because we also ask God to give us the right mentors, that will actually,
have the
have the
integrity.
integrity, have the faith, and have, that will do the right thing.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think when we saw the community, when we saw the leaders, when we saw, of course, we all have different beliefs, but the integrity part and the love for people, right? And there's a lot of faith filled people in the community as well. It really inspired us that, if these people are being blessed, and if God bless us also, then we can do more, right? We also ask the Lord that, when you make us successful in this business, we will give all the glory to you, and that's what we've been doing.
And that's what I'm seeing from you guys. And just like you guys had so many failures. Like I left one country and come to another. I had to pay 32,000 US dollars to get here for my husband and my two children,
Mhm.
Wow.
right? And for 12 years we didn't exist. So thank God all is well now, but it our story started from a humble beginning, and then it elevated because I said, Lord, you brought us through this journey. You
Mm.
have a purpose and a plan. And in the
Mhm.
same way he brought me through this to this business, and I know he has a purpose for me. I
Yeah.
know he has a plan. I can't see it yet, but I can feel it.
Yeah,
I can feel it that I'm going places in this business.
Amen.
And I know he has a plan for everyone who honors him. And that's what this business is all about. It makes you find yourself. It
yeah,
makes you realize your potential, and it gives you that courage and that confidence to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep prodding along
yeah,
one step every time. It's like a mountain climb. I always tell people your journey could be a mountain climb.
Mhm.
Climbing a mountain is not easy, right? It's tough, it's hard, it's difficult. But when you get to the mountaintop and you look down in the valley and you see the beauty it beholds, it's worth it,
yeah,
right? And that's all about this business. You have an end goal, you have rewards coming your way. Thank you guys for that answer. Amazing, good job, nice. So
Mhm.
your next question is, how has your understanding of success evolved from your early failures to your current achievements? And how does it align with your faith? Everything goes back to faith today. It's a revival session.
Yeah, I really believe in this. That the reason why you go through a lot of the failures and the trials you go through is because God allows you the testing so that you'll have the testimony at the end, right? So
Right.
that use the beacon of light is, it's hard to become a beacon if you did not go through all the challenges. Because if you just say, "Oh, I started a business, oh, easy, right? I became successful, it's so easy, and in
Yeah.
6 months, I made it all, right? I did." How can that become a beacon if you cannot even relate and be walking in the shoes of the people that are going to go through the journey you're going to, right? So for me, right, success for me now, and because, and which is incredible, the business we're in is because when you come in here, most of us, we were just desperate. Through
Mhm.
desperation, we were desperate, to launch a
That
business. We
is
were
true.
desperate to, have our first sale. We were desperate to get a lead. Just desperate.
Yeah.
But stick to this journey and really grow through this journey, and really do everything you can, right? You cross from desperation to inspiration, from a test to a testimony, right? So, and this is what I believe, right? That God allows you to go through that so you develop yourself. and then you can, when you're up there, then you can go back and say, hey, I've been in your shoes. I know how you feel. I can guide you. Right. So
Yeah, and also because now that we've matured, I think I realized that if God gave us the success earlier, we
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to appreciate more, and we wouldn't be able to give him the glory. You know what I
and
mean? Like,
Probably
sustain.
got carried away too, right?
we probably, if we look at our old self, right, we were
Mhm.
immature, right? Now that it took us longer than than we wished to, because we met in 2007, right? And at that time,
Mhm.
we were so excited. We thought that financial freedom is easy. So
Easy.
we were
Overnight,
just,
we can do it.
yeah, like we were just so
Read a couple
excited.
of books. Financial freedom, easy. You know, you know what
Right,
I
but
mean?
our success didn't really happen maybe until 2020, right?
Yeah.
2021. We started
Mhm.
18, and it took a couple of months, like, I think 14 months. That's when Dave quit his job. Then it's really like, I think God knows when you're ready. He's more
Mhm.
interested in your character building, in your
Right.
patience, in your humility. If he knows if you're prideful, he knows if you have that ego,
Yes.
that pride in your heart. That,
Yes, he does.
you know what I mean? So sometimes we say, like, Lord, give it to us, we're ready, and all that, but he's the only one that knows it, right? So for us, we're grateful that he gave it to us on the right time, not sooner than we wish to, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Because a blessing can be heavy. A lot of people don't know that blessing can be heavy. How? Because a blessing can either break you or it can be a blessing, so we can be a blessing to other people. So this is what happens to people that become a millionaire through the lottery, right? Because their
mhm,
character is not ready. If you really search all of them,
Yes, and you find a downfall as soon as they have that money, right?
because their character is not ready, the foundation. So 5 years later, they wish, most of them basically lose all of that and they wish they never had it, right? In fact, one guy actually killed himself, right?
Yeah.
Because a blessing is heavy, right? There's a responsibility on the other side of that blessing that you're going to receive.
How you can handle that blessing when
So
you
it
get that blessing. Yeah.
will break, right?
mhm.
That's the key. So I think we just are grateful that God prepared us in our vision, and our definition of success is when you're ready, your character wise, and you're able
I
to give.
know. And I always tell people we have to have an attitude of gratitude.
Mhm.
Every
Mhm.
day of our lives, we have to be grateful. And sometimes our attitude are like punctured car tires. And if
Yeah.
we have bad attitude, it'll take us nowhere, right? A punctured car tire will take you nowhere. So in order for us to move to places and have growth in our lives and be successful, and we need to drop the bad attitude. We
Mhm.
need to change our habits. We need to change our mindset. And when we're ready to change and tweak little things, big things can happen.
That's right.
And God blesses us in little things. And if we can handle the little things, how is He going to bless us with a lot of things and bigger things, right? So we need to have an attitude of gratitude. And we need to appreciate life itself. And many of us, we live and we die and we're not even grateful. We never thank God for anything in our lives.
Mhm.
So in this business, it has taught me so much. It has transformed my mindset. I grew up in church all my life. I thought I know it all, right? I teach Sunday school. I was a leader for the youth group. I was the president for the women's group.
Mhm.
And I did so much stuff. But when you get here, you're like, oh my God, this is like a different format. It transformed my mindset. It changed my whole being. And it bring me down to a level like you have to start from scratch again,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? And that's a good thing. If you're in this community, you need to grow, you need to learn, you need to elevate, you need to be motivated, you need to build your confidence. And I love the platform of this business and the community of this business. It's amazing. Everyone I talk to, they're so nice. Everyone is so loving and caring. Everyone wants to see you prosper, and everyone wants to build you up and elevate you. And that's what we need as a community. We
Mhm.
don't need backbiters and haters and and I everybody who come to the show, I try to teach them a lesson. Like some people, I ask them their opinions and if they become successful, what they're gonna do and stuff like that. And I tell them, dream long, don't dream big. People dream big all the time, and when you dream big, it goes at a fast pace. You have enemies, jealousy, people all over you, and it dismantle your whole journey of dreaming, right? So if you dream long, because you're dreaming long, you're taking a journey, and everybody who is gonna bombard against you, evil in evil ways, they're gonna get tired because you're dreaming long, you're going a journey. They will fall off. They will fall off. They'll get tired. Like, oh, I don't have time with her. She's taking too long to get rich.
Yeah.
You know? So I tell everybody, dream long, don't dream big. Dream long. When you get to your destination, let it be big. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I see we have some people out there. You guys want to give them some shout out? Mary Joy, Expedita, Jayan, Jasmine, Teresita, Andrea. Big shout out to all of you guys.
Hello,
Thanks for
everybody.
watching. So you have your final question, Dave and Roxanne. What specific lesson did you learn from each failure that contributed to your individual success in your current business? And
Yeah,
all your questions tie to each other, I know.
yeah, I think now I look back, God prepared us to. Sometimes perspective is really important because a lot of people that maybe have started this online business is their first one. They don't have a perspective that we have because we failed in a lot, right? So the reason why we went all in right away in this online business is because we've seen so many different kinds of business models. Like those failures prepared us. We've
Mhm.
seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, not just in system wise, not just in product wise, in training wise, but also the owners and characters of the people that we work with. So we've seen so many, and when we saw an opportunity, like differently, I saw gold, I saw diamond, I saw like massive things because of everything we've done and tried. That's why we went all in. So those failures really, I always tell people, when preparation meets opportunity, that's when success happens. And
Yeah.
preparation could be failure, right?
Mhm.
I think that failure is a preparation. It is a preparation because your character is deeper, your foresight is different, your
Mhm.
perspective is long, right? And you understand and smell what is good or not, right? That is
Right.
uh,
Right.
how those really put together, right?
Yeah, and also I think the big lessons for us is learning how to be patient,
Yeah.
uh,
Yes.
because that's why we've gone through 24 businesses, because some of them, like, we, if we don't see the results, we go right away, we leave right away, right? We didn't really ask ourselves, what can we do different, how can we improve, how can we make it better, right? Some of them, of course, it failed us, company shut down and all that.
Right.
Some of them, like we did real estate before, but at the time we, we quit our jobs too soon, right? And we ran out of money, right? Capital.
Right.
So it's really our fault, right? And some of them, I think it's being patient. Like, so for the people that are in the online business already, or maybe considering about this, you have to have a long-term mentality, right? To
Mhm.
have a patient mentality, really like looking at this as a career, which means that if you're, let's say, a nurse, right? How long did it take you to really learn to become a good nurse, right? So 4 years of education, not earning anything, and then after that you're in the field, how many years you would be very good at it, right? So it's the same in the digital business. You will learn new skills like videos, advertising, doing go lives and interviews like this, posting, marketing, all that. It can be learned, but it takes so much time. So I think the battle is in our mind, that if we
Mhm.
don't see any results, we quit too soon, right? And we compare. So staying in your own lane, staying in where you are and growing where you are, bloom where you planted. So once you make the decision that this is it, this is where I'm gonna put in, right? So when we started this online business, we did it part-time. So I was in finance full-time in a government job. Dave is
Mhm.
used to be as a general manager. So both of us are doing corporate jobs. We didn't
Right.
quit jobs right away until it actually replaces our job, and it actually more than our, more than our job's income for like 6 months, and it's never been down. So we really look at a lot of things because we learn our lessons, right? So I think that's one of the biggest lessons like we can share, like really being patient with yourself and really thinking about this long term.
Yeah, just to end, when Roxanne talked about patience, I think it's in Think and Grow Rich that says that successful people, they make their decision fast, but they change their mind almost never or for a long time, right?
Right.
So, but people that fail is that they make a decision long and change their mind fast
Mhm.
when they make a
Yeah.
decision. So, um, that's that is really patience, right? And knowing that you got to stick to this thing. So, I hope
Yeah,
that.
for me in this business, Dave, when I first started, I got discombobulated real quick. I was like, I saw this person making all this money and that person making all this money. And I was like, I want to make that money too, right? And I was like, oh my God, it doesn't happen. I calmed down. I said, it doesn't happen that way. I just got here, right? And in life, there are three T's. Things take time. Three
Yeah.
T's, right? Things take time. So I treat my business as my garden, like a
Yo.
seed planted. I water it, I mold it, I fashion it how I want it, and I nurture it to grow. I even talk to my plants in my garden. My daughter came to the garden one day and was like, Mama, who are you talking to? I said, the plants. She said, why? I said, they listen to me. I said, listen, guys, I'm spending time behind you. I pay money for you, and I'm watering you, and I need you to bear me fruits and vegetables, right? Lo and behold, my garden always flourishes. Right? And as Christians, we need to we believe confession is possession. What we say happens, right? So in my life, like my personal experience, when I moved upstate New York, I was living in Queens, New York. I moved upstate. I went to the bank for the first time to open an account. And I saw a girl on the counter and I said, I want to be, I want to be like that woman. I want to be on the other side of the counter. I moved here 2005 on the 5th of August, September 19, 2005, I became a banker,
Wow.
right? So confession is possession, guys. What you say happens. You confess positive things will follow you.
I love it.
I always say I want a platform where I can share my knowledge with people, motivate people, enlighten them, make them feel special, right? I got chat with Pat.
I love it.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Yes. So for Dave, for people or David and Roxanne, for people out there who are on the fence and they're they have double mind and they're skeptical and they don't know the beauty of this business. Can you extend an invitation to them today?
Yeah, in 2018, we were kind of at some of the lowest point of our lives. We were $86,000 in consumer debt, and we had creditors calling left and right, and I couldn't sleep at night. A lot of you can relate to that, being in debt, and um, I just remember, and again, we shared this. Roxanne prayed this prayer, and that ad showed up. This was the answer to our prayers, and some of you have been praying for an answer. This may be or maybe not the answer, but the first step really is to find out, right? And we all started with watching the webinar, and then we did our due diligence by moving forward. The 90 minute, we call it the pre-coaching videos, and then we did a coaching call. It all started there, right? And but thanks be to God, this was the answer to our prayer because we took that action. And my suggestion to you would be to check it out because that's where we all started.
Yeah, and also like we always believe in this, that if you have those dreams in your heart, whatever that may be, right? For us, it's really retiring my parents, quitting our jobs, having that financial and time freedom, right? And of course, I've seen a lot of people getting their the results that they wanted, right? So if you have those dreams, right, and God will always give you those resources, the time, the money, the people, the talents that you need. You don't need to know everything, right? The first thing, because I was very skeptical in the beginning, he's the one that really like showed it to me.
Oh yeah.
But for me, like what really inspired me is I saw normal everyday people just like us, just like you guys, and immigrants like us, people that doesn't speak much English, people that are older than us, have multiple jobs than us, and have multiple kids, and they're getting the results that they want. So we prayed about it, and the rest is history. And that really inspired me to get started, right? And of course, you're not alone. Patricia here is a great mentor, and so much supports as well. She has that website here. Reach out to her, and when you're ready, we'll be here to support you. And we're just so excited for you. And this may or may not be an answered prayer for you, but at least give it a try. And we're excited to welcome you.
Thank you so much, guys. I hope you listen, you learn, you pay attention. So since you guys did so awesome in all your questions, you get a bonus question. And this is I'm egging you guys on in this question. So listen carefully, right? Your journey is one of faith, perseverance, and transformation, touching lives across continents. Have you ever thought about writing a book to share your incredible story with the world? If so, what message would you want it to carry? And what do you think would be the perfect title to reflect your journey? Perhaps something like Faith, Failure, and Miracles, or From Trials to Triumph, or The Power of Unwavering Trust.
Yeah, you know,
Wow.
that's a very good question. In the beginning of this year, we actually took writing course. Worked with a best-selling author. Actually, she's just waiting for us to
Submit.
submit and do our work. But
Oh my God, I'm egging you guys on, do it.
yeah, and our initial title was From Broke to Blessed, right? Seven biblical principles that allowed us to become financially successful. That was kind of our
Yeah, so it's good that you mentioned that. I love your title. We're probably gonna consider that as well. But
yeah,
yeah, it's part of it's part of our plans
goals this year.
and goals this year. So hopefully we'll be able to launch it before the end of the year. So
I'm rooting for you guys. You know, you guys deserve it. The world needs to know your journey, your success, your trials, your triumphs. You know, your story is a motivation. Your story encourages me. Your story encourages a lot of people. And I know someone is on the chat right now want to know what the three T's are. Things take time, guys.
Yeah.
Things take time. All right, that's the three T's. So Dave and Roxanne, I am so honored to have you guys today. I am really, really excited. I've done 30 something interviews. I've never been so nervous. I was so nervous, but you guys calmed me down. Thank you so much for taking time out to come and chat with Pat. I'm really honored. I always like to close my show by saying, if you look around and you find that there are no good human beings in the world, please be the first one to be kind, caring, and loving. And with that, we wish you all a very good evening. And Dave and Roxanne, thank you so much for being here.
thank
I
you.
am delighted and honored.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.